What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen, and this week, no Ashton. Ashton's out sick, guys, so send some positive vibes her way. But I am joined by Cannondale X, Previews World regular.
Hi.
What's up? What's going on, Natasha?
Not much. Just hanging out in my living room, talking to
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I
Talking
mean,
to the kids.
talking to kids. We're definitely the kids today in
Yeah.
this scenario. Like anytime we're doing Previews World Weekly, it's like the big kid hour. That's really what it is. So.
Yes. Yes.
Hold on. We've got a couple of hellos in here. Tom's comic books and reviews. What's up, Tom? How's it going, man? Um, so Natasha, I want to get just right into this because I feel
Oh
like
boy.
this is something that we both can get into the weeds about. Johnny, if you
Okay.
want to jump in, jump on in. If you feel like it, Thor, Love and Thunder. Like
Thor.
people online have been itching for the first glimpse of this movie, right? Like they have
Oh my
been
gosh.
just salivating for the first glimpse of this movie.
Oh, I just
We
got goosebumps again.
Yeah, we finally got
Just
it.
seeing this.
Natasha, just go for it. What were your thoughts about the trailer?
Oh my god. Like, first off, like I was really into it. My husband and I watched it on the big screen. That was my first time seeing
Mm,
any part of it.
mhm.
Just watching through it, I love like watching him progress. And then tell me we're getting an 80s montage
Yeah,
workout because
yeah.
that's amazing.
Hmm.
Second, I did not know the Guardians were going to be in this, so that is awesome.
Hmm.
And like already had me laughing my behind off on parts of this, like getting to see like first we get to see Olympus. I don't know if
Yes, we
anybody
do.
caught on to that. We
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
see
right.
Olympus. So that means we're getting Zeus, we're getting this, and that means maybe we'll
Hmm.
get Hercules.
So
Um,
do you know who Zeus is?
no,
Do
no,
you want me
I
do you
don't.
want me to tell
So
you?
yeah, I know. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's Russell Crowe.
Stop it. Stop it. This whole scene had me laughing probably
This is
way
good.
too hard. Way too hard. Just the lean in, like staring at the people you love.
Yeah. It's like it's not
Let me
you.
get in your frame. Yeah. But I like that Thor is taking a break, that he's kind of taking a step back, all this stuff. And then
Hmm.
holy moly, we
Hmm.
get Jane.
Yeah,
We
we
get
do get
Jane
Jane.
Foster
We definitely get Jane. No,
as Lady
it's
Thor. And
I have
then
this.
like
Go ahead, go
again,
ahead, go.
goosebumps. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for this. She looks amazing. She looks so tough and cool, and the armor looks awesome.
It does
Like
look
I
good,
know
yeah.
every cosplayer who cosplays her is freaking out when that
Hmm.
trailer came out. It made me like want to cosplay as her. Getting to see Mjolnir also kind of put back together is really
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
We got to see the head of New Asgard too, by the
Hmm.
way, Valkyrie. That's really
Valkyrie, yep.
exciting.
Uh-huh.
Like there was a lot of little parts. I love Marvel because they give you like all these little juicy pieces, but at the same time, you have to also take a breath
Mm.
because a lot of times they will show you stuff that won't actually be in the movie.
Yeah, no,
So
I think that's
you
fair.
have
That is
to be
true. That is fair.
careful.
That is fair.
You have to
They're
be
they're not
careful,
as
but I'm very excited. Very excited.
they're not as egregious as some other people who just like
Who
kind
show
of
you the whole movie?
well also just like
Like,
just I mean complete and total scenes won't be in the trailer. With Marvel, like they'll
mhm.
digitally edit out something
Yeah.
for the purpose of spoilers. Like you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, like there's some other trailers where it's like, yeah, it's just this is not in the movie at all. Like I don't even
Yeah.
think it ever was.
Well,
Yeah.
I have to Johnny Rose interrupting producer here. By the way.
Interrupting producer.
I mean, we have to always think back to I think it was Infinity War. There was that one shot of like everyone running into battle, and like Hulk is right there alongside everyone, which obviously didn't happen in the
Yeah.
movie.
No,
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
But
actually, you know what? You're totally right about that. I take that back. You're
Mhm.
absolutely right. That scene was not in the movie at all. I mean, but you know what? They could have cut that into the. They could have been in the movie and just got cut. I guess that's what
True.
I'm getting at. Is like it could have
Mhm.
been just a cut scene, but I mean, like there, are, out for example, the Suicide Squad, the original Suicide Squad,
Mhm.
the first one with Will Smith. Yeah, there's stuff in there that's not in the movie at all, and probably
There's
never
a
was
lot of
in the
stuff
movie.
that is not in that movie.
Right? Yeah. For
That
me,
movie felt like it was like, hey, let's just take out whole scenes.
yeah, no, I
They're
think
here.
that's
They just
exactly
met. Oh, and now they're in the middle of the city.
right.
Don't get me
An
started.
entire
Don't get me
narrative.
started. Yeah.
Entire new narrative.
Yeah.
Thor, like I have this weird relationship with the Thor movies. Like I I liked the first one with Kenneth Branagh, and I thought it had like a cool little Silver Age vibe. Did not like
Mhm.
Dark World at all. I'll be honest with you. It's one of I think it's one
That's
of the
like the
worst
movie that
ones.
didn't exist.
Yeah, right.
I
Although
okay, Johnny
uh-huh.
knows how many times I've seen Ragnarok.
Mhm.
Just because that's one of my comfort movies, and anytime we would travel, that's what I'm watching. And that one, Dark World, like I've probably seen it in total 4 times.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
Yeah.
and
I
I
think
mean
I've only seen
complete,
it
like start
twice.
to finish,
Yeah.
4 times.
Yeah.
Ragnarok, I've probably seen 175 times. Like,
It's a good comfort movie. It is. It
it's
totally
such a
is.
good comfort movie, and every time you
Mhm.
watch it, you're laughing and you're enjoying it and you're having a good time, and like it's like brand new every time. And I really hope this one's gonna have that same kind of vibe, which I think it will.
Mhm.
And like knowing that the Guardians are part of it too totally explains his total like 80s look and his rocker
Yeah.
thing and
And it
all that.
fits
It
too.
totally it makes sense.
Yeah, it fits too,
Yeah.
which it's interesting because like you could definitely go in the direction with the Thor story where it's like, all right, I want the 80s metal thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they didn't embrace it the way that I thought they would, but they have
Hmm.
embraced it, which I think is kind of nice.
Hmm.
Like, when I'm thinking more Heavy Metal Magazine, Heavy Metal the movie, but they've kind of
Hmm.
found Taika Waititi's kind of found a middle ground. You know what I mean? Like
He's
there's
so
a
good.
yeah, and also I think that at the end of the day, this is one of those Marvel movies where, much like Doctor Strange, I'm really in it for the director's version of this. Like, I
Hmm.
admittedly I'm a comic book nerd. I am definitely one of those people's like, no, you got to do it this way because that's how it is in the comics.
Yeah.
But I'm also a movie nerd, and
Hmm.
this is definitely one of those situations where, like, I'm here for the director's version of this his
Yeah.
vision.
Well, let
You
me
know?
also touch on that. I think that if anyone could also bring the Guardians into a Thor film, it would be Taika Waititi.
Oh
Oh
yeah, he's
yeah.
perfect for that. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
mean, James Gunn did a great job on those, but I think if
Hmm.
someone's gonna can carry on like the legacy of what those characters are in the MCU,
Yes.
Waititi's like is great. But like also, Troy, I want to bring this up, and you pointed this out to me,
Mhm.
was some of the shots in there are exactly pulled from the comics. And I don't mean
Yes.
just kind of inspired by the comics.
No,
I
exactly.
mean,
love when
like
they do
the
that.
nuances of like rock formations and like the
Mhm.
shot composition. So
Mhm.
Troy, walk us through this because you
Yeah.
showed this to me.
So I'm not 100% sure which comic this is. This might be the Jason Aaron run, or this might be from the Loki series. But I know this is artist Assad Ribic, and I love that Ron Mars, who actually think Ron Mars actually wrote Thor in the '90s, had pointed this out and also noted that never forget that comics are the dog, not the tail, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's very important to note as well because yeah, these things would not exist. As much as
Mhm.
MCU has a mainstream appeal, these concepts, these stories, these ideas, these characters would not exist without
Mhm.
the comic books. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and that did open up a conversation I saw online about residuals for creators who have contributed to these stories in any way, shape, or form, which I also think is very important. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. Also, I shared another meme with you, and then we're going to probably bounce off of Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder. But I thought this was kind of hilarious. Have you seen Natasha? You've done physical training, right?
I'm a personal trainer.
A personal trainer, right?
So
Like,
yes.
so what? Like, I saw this a couple of months ago.
She
Natalie
wants a
Portman's
rematch with
arms.
Anakin.
She looks what? She looks like what?
He says she wants a rematch with
Rematch with
Anakin.
Anakin. I absolutely love that. So for those of you, if you can't see it on your screen, like I saw this online the other day. Someone pointed out this is a picture of Natalie Portman behind the scenes on Thor: Love and
Mhm.
Thunder, and they said that she looks like she wants a rematch with Anakin, which of course is a reference to her time in the Star Wars universe as well. So
That's
yeah, actually,
hilarious.
now I think about it, now that she's back in the Disney camp, I wonder if she's gonna, maybe make some appearances, maybe for I don't know any Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's another option.
So
So
what's your
yeah.
question? What's your question about Natalie?
Well, no, I just was curious. Like, I'm just sitting there. I'm
From a
like,
personal trainer perspective, what?
well, I mean, like, yeah. What is she doing there? What do you think she's doing? How's she getting her arms like that? Like, what's
She's
going
strength
on there?
training. She's
Just
strength
strength
training
training.
and
Yeah.
she's eating protein.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and she
Yes.
also has a genetic disposition to gain muscle mass because she has a shorter stature too. And
Okay.
just genetically, she can gain that muscle mass. So, just to put
Okay.
that out there, all those people that are like, I want to look like this person. Well, it's the certain training regimen, it's a certain protein regimen, and then it's also your genetics.
Just genetics. Sometimes it's
Also
just genetics.
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
just genetics.
Sometimes it's
But
just
yeah,
genetics.
so she is a shorter stature. She's a little stockier, and so that muscle mass she can put on there really fast. And just like obviously she's got a good trainer. She's put strength training, and then she's also adding protein to your diet.
Yeah,
You don't
the
just
protein is important.
so like women don't freak out if you lift a weight. You're not going to suddenly you're not going to be shaped like Thor unless you work out like Thor.
Right, yeah. Which
Put
is
that in
actually,
there.
which we have to
Yeah.
admit is Chris Hemsworth has the time and the training and the
Yeah.
money to do that. So,
And a training app.
and a training app.
So
Right.
yeah, he's got
So
all
there
the
you go.
things.
Absolutely. He's got all
And
the
the
things. He's got all
genetics.
things.
And
And the
then the
genetics.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I
Yeah.
just thought that was funny. Like I saw that picture a few months ago and I saw people going like, "Oh
That
my
right up's
God,
really
Natalie
funny.
Portman." Yeah,
Yeah.
but that really just kind of was like hilarious to me. All
Yeah.
right. Enough about comic book movies, although we will circle back to Thor Love and Thunder later in the show.
Back to the
Let's get
papers.
to the comics. Let's get to the stuff that we really care about here on this show. Natasha and I have our picks this week, so we're gonna
One
wait,
second.
Johnny.
Overstreet.
Johnny. Oh, Overstreet. You know what? You're absolutely right, Johnny. You know what? There is so the new previews catalog
Hey,
goes
Steven.
live on Friday, right?
Mhm.
And it's going live on our site on Friday, which means the print version hits shops on Wednesday, which means that the closing date to order from April's previews, this preview, is coming up. So I wanted to call attention to something that I know people always pre-order, and it's like a big thing for people every single year, and that is Overstreet 52. It's basically the industry's go-to price guide. If you have walked into a comic book store at any point in time, you've seen the Overstreet, you've heard about the Overstreet. It is the industry standard for what your books are worth. And yeah, it's just a must-have tome for any collector. The 52nd annual edition of the Overstreet Price Guide turns a spotlight onto the expansive history of the medium with an all-new feature on the Yellow Kid, which is like, just comic book history 101, as well as the 100th anniversary of EC Comics founder William M. Gaines, who is a huge fixture, especially when it comes to censorship in the comic book industry. And of course, the one and only Stan Lee, who also would have been 100 this year. It also, as well, it gives a look at the history of James Buchanan Barnes, speaking of the MCU and Marvel, aka Bucky the Winter Soldier. Of course, there's, in addition to the all-new prices, market reports, and more from the book that's been the Bible of serious comic book collectors, dealers, and historians for more than 5 decades. And as you saw, Overstreet 52 has multiple covers. Personally, I really like the Butch Guys Bucky one. I think that one looks really cool, and it
That's
reminds
really
me
cool.
that I want to see more Butch Guys, just Captain America, Winter Soldier stories. But also, I got to point out, this is also the 40th anniversary of Diamond, and so they have a special cover, as you can see right there, for the big Overstreet, which goes for $54.95. So yeah. Pre-order now. The pre-order window is getting smaller and smaller, and you don't want to miss out, especially if you consider yourself a big time collector, a big name collector, a big collector in general. You'll want to pick up Overstreet number 52. So that's available to pre-order now, and you can get it where? PREVIEWSworld.com/pullbox, and save yourself the effort of going to your comic shop in advance to pre-order. Instead, you can pre-order online and then go to your local comic shop and pick it up, because you're going to go to your local comic shop anyway, right?
That's right.
All right. What's at comic shops, right? So here's what's the new releases for this week. Natasha and I are going to give our picks, and then we're going to show you all the big ticket items available as well. Let's go. All right, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Ashton's pick this week, which she wasn't able to do, which is a book called Dark Beach. That's available at your local comic shop this week. But Natasha, what is your pick this week? What are you into?
My pick is a figure, not a comic book.
That's fine. But those are
It
also
is
available at
from-
your local comic shop.
Right? They are. You cannot forget your collectible and toy section at your comic shop. I feel like they're the fruits of the comic shop, where the comic books are the wonderful tree and the leaves.
I like that.
So I picked it's Eivor from Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, nice.
And I play this video game personally. So does my teenager. It is awesome because the storylines are great, but this figure is just adorably tough and cute. And Good Smile Company has really great niche for having that kind of like, it's tough, but it's also really cute.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
so that's my pick.
I always get stuck on how do you pronounce Nindroid? Is it Nindoroid or Nindroid? I'm not sure. If anybody's a Good Smile fan, let us know in the comments. That's always the one I get stuck
I
on.
think it's Nindroid.
An Android?
I don't know.
You're probably right. We got some people in here saying, hey there. What's up? How's it going, Steven? Hello, everyone from Jeremy.
Jeremy.
And hi, all from Tony Craig. And also, shout out to that Static
Hello.
Shock avatar. Thank you, sir, for joining us. My pick this week. If you guys have not noticed, it is 420, guys, right? I mean, that's a real thing that's happening today. Some of you are already celebrating, but
What?
some of you are already celebrating, but may I suggest a companion piece to that celebration, right? Brian Posehn and Scott Koblish have a new satirical book out. It's called About the War on Drugs. It's out today. It's a secret history on the war on weed. It's from Image Comics. Here's the premise. The year is 1985. The First Lady decides to crush Northern California cannabis farmers and deploys the biggest tool in the armed forces. Scott McTiernan, whose motto is, "If it weeds, we can kill it." Scotch puts his boots on the ground to fight the war on drugs and does what he does best. But what happens when he gets high for the first time? I love this for two reasons, right? And I'm gonna get slightly serious for a second here, but I love this for two reasons. People are starting to open their eyes up to how much of a misdirection the war on drugs was. We all had Dare in school, right? I know you had Dare in school. You and I are about the same age.
I was in charge of my schools there. And just
oh no, you were narc. Oh no.
It's not a narc. I was the one that I planned I was in drama. So we had to go and do skits at other schools or events and things like that. And I might have written a rap or two. Just FYI.
Okay. Interesting.
So yeah, it was a dark time.
We're gonna have to find out more about these raps actually. If someone went to school with Natasha and has a video of it, please.
I'm sorry, I gotta go.
But the cool thing about this is sometimes the best tool to change minds isn't necessarily upfront legislation or preaching about it, but comedy. And that's what Brian Posehn is doing here. Posehn, if you're familiar, he's done Big Bang Theory. He's on the House of 1,000 Corpses. He actually wrote Deadpool for a period at Marvel. And he's using comics and the funny to take the wind out of outdated propaganda that Natasha was responsible for.
Shut up! No, it wasn't.
But I thought this was cool also because a portion of the proceeds from this comic will be donated to organizations dedicated to helping casualties of America's, and this is in Image's words, immoral drug war. And this is a one shot, by the way. So pick it up today, and it has an activity page, which of course it does. So there you go.
Like a word search or like a color page?
I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to check it out and find out, though. I'm definitely going to pick it up. But yeah, the secret history on the war on weed from Image Comics, that is out today. The perfect companion piece to your 420 celebration.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got next? New collectibles this week. So Natasha, you can see her here, right? But you can also catch Natasha every Tuesday on PREVIEWSworld's feed.
That's right.
Where she gives you a rundown of all the new collectibles available at your local comic shop, like she's about to do right now. Here is the Previews toy chest for 420.
Hey everyone, Natasha here, and I'm going to give you a look at some of the new toys and collectibles in stores today. Here's your Previews toy chest for the week of April 20th, 2022. Be sure to check with your local comic shop for availability. And to see more, head over to PREVIEWSworld.com/toychest. There you'll feast your eyes on more hot new collectibles.
All right, and thank you, Natasha. In the past,
You're welcome.
the present.
And I had my same covers on.
Oh, look at that. Cool glasses to kind of click on. That Spider-Man looked awesome. Yes, it did, Tony Craig. Thank you very much.
It's very awesome.
Actually, I'm gonna jump in here real quick, Johnny. Tom's comic book and reviews at 420 says, "Well, it's time."
It's so load on the internet there.
Right.
We didn't timestamp it.
Right, exactly. Natasha, actually, real quick, can you tell people about DST Unbox, which is the other thing you do
Yes.
for DST, but also we've been featuring on Previews World lately.
I did. I mean, I do. So I host a show called DST Unboxed that airs a live, well, not a live, but a new video every Wednesday over on DST's YouTube or even Gentle Giant's YouTube, and then now also on Previews World. It's a great show where I show you all the collectibles from DST
Yeah.
and Gentle Giant. We get to unbox and get a little closer look. We do 360s, and I try to give you some information about maybe how to find the items. And I just kind of geek out. So, it's a little good combination of everything. That Green Goblin statue is
That looks amazing. Yeah.
insane, by the
Yeah, it
way.
does.
His teeth are even sharp. Like, it's a beautifully nightmare piece. It's a really, really cool piece. But yeah, so those
Yeah, look at
air
that. Wow.
every Wednesday. Over on, you can find them on Diamond Select Toys' YouTube channel. Or if you just go to my website, it links to everybody, to all the new episodes that come out. I have it set up that way, so it's easy.
All right.
But yeah, that piece is really, really cool. I
Nice.
featured another one that was insane. It was the Black Boba Fett special.
Oh, yeah.
Special statue that comes out for Free Comic Book Day,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
which is May 7th. And it's a special, beautiful bust, and it's, oh my gosh, it's so cool looking.
Yeah, that Green Goblin one definitely looks cool. I definitely had I just got Spider-Man No Way Home that came in the mail for Steelbook, and I've been watching it off and on. And every time I see Willem Dafoe's face, I'm like, this guy just is the Green Goblin. Like, that's just
He
all there
is.
is to it.
Yeah,
That statue looks like Willem Dafoe.
it does. And that's not even based on him. That's based off the
Right.
comic, and it's like,
Right.
it's mind-boggling. It's so good. It's so good. The artists at Gentle Giant and
Mhm.
everybody they have in collab with, like, their attention to detail, whether I'm showing something that's like that, which is like a collectible resin bust,
Mhm.
or it's like a PVC diorama, like all of them, the paint applications are great. Like, and it's such a great range for every collector. So like you've got like
Yes.
ones that start on the lower end cap of like $40 or this all the way up to like,
Yeah,
going
it's
up.
a nice range. Yeah.
But the quality is not like, you're not losing anything. Like, yeah, the material quality is different, but
Mhm.
as far as the detail and the sculpting and paint applications, you're not missing. Like, you're getting your money's worth plus a bunch. Like, that's really good stuff. They're good people, and that's why I'm the face for it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I
don't
love it. I
mind.
love it.
Yeah.
And I will point out, I see Johnny's letting people in the chat know, but I will point
Oh,
out
yeah.
that DST Unboxed, you can go to Diamond Select Toys on YouTube and check it out. But
Yeah.
also we do we post a week later, we post these DST Unboxed videos
Mhm.
on Previews World on Fridays. So yeah,
Can I
definitely
tell
hang out
you?
with Natasha.
Can you tell you how excited I was to do that one for Wanda,
The
for
Wanda?
WandaVision? Because I got to pop the blister pack.
Oh yeah,
I
right.
got to pop the blister
Right,
pack.
right. And I mean
I
that's
even
funny.
gave a
Yeah.
warning. I was like, that's me. I'm going, I'm just going to let everybody know I have to open this.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. Do you ever get like a little bit of an anxiety when you just actually pop open a toy just for the hell of it now? Like I kind of get that now.
Yeah.
Like I had this
yeah.
moment
Now
where I'm like, should I do this? Maybe I shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, absolutely. Like even my kids' toys. My kids' toys are
Right,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I gotta open this, and then sometimes I'll get like fumbled on things, and I'm like, I'm a professional. You think I'd know how to open these by now?
I will say DST makes those boxes a little bit easier to open than some places. Because
Yes.
I have, I definitely have a few action figures over here over my shoulder here, and yeah, they're not always ezy to open.
No, they are not.
But I don't want to keep them in the
Yeah.
box. I want to
Yeah.
unbox them.
Yeah. I understand your feelings.
Yeah. We have Kurt here saying, so many of my
Kurt.
friends have complained about the fact that my wedding is on Free Comic Book Day.
Kurt, why?
Actually, no, that is a
Why?
great
But
opportunity.
you know what you could do is you could just have like, either before or after your wedding, just take everyone to the comic shop
There you go. Right. Or before or
and
after.
take pictures.
And take pictures, right? And
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be an event in itself during the event of Free Comic Book Day. I actually
Yeah.
should point out, because Ashton is not here, Free Comic Book Day is
Yes.
May 7th. It's coming up in 2 weeks, guys. So
Oh my gosh,
check with
already.
check with your local comic shop and see if they are participating. They probably are, to be honest. And just kind of like be mindful of their restrictions state to state and city to city, because that's
Yes.
still a thing
Yeah.
for sure. Kurt, my thoughts exactly. Kurt definitely
Yeah.
agrees with you.
Take the wedding party there.
Take the wedding party there. And for those of you having trouble remembering, it's the day after Doctor Strange hits movie theaters.
Hey, there you go.
So there you go. That's the simplest way to remember.
Go watch the
all right,
movie and
typically-
then go get the comics.
I mean, that's people's routine, like legit, like
Right?
that's what they
Yeah.
do. So I love that.
I want to know
Um,
more. Buy your comic shop.
I'm not ready. Annie Fox is saying she's not ready for comic book day. We got a couple of people in here who are already who are making it clear that they're celebrating 420 right now, which is pretty hilarious. I'm not going to post it just because I like my job, but
Yeah,
see
let's
it.
let's
I can
just
read.
acknowledge like the
I can
elephant in the
read.
room. Let's
Uh,
just
I see
acknowledge the
it.
elephant
Or this
in
way.
the room.
There you go.
Tom's comics, books, and reviews. Yes, we see you.
yes,
Steve
Yes.
Fox. Yes, we see you.
see you. Yes,
Yeah, we see it right there.
right there. Yeah, we see you guys in the
Yeah.
chat.
That's
Not
our
hating on
chat
you.
side. Yeah.
Not hating on you guys, but it's still a sensitive topic, and also we got the narc here on the chat, so I don't want her to bust her. I'm not going to let you live that down, Natasha. I'm sorry. It's okay. You tease me all the time. So this is finally I got something on you.
Hey, at least I like fish sticks.
Okay. At least you do like fish. That is a callback, guys.
That's like a 2-year-old joke now.
That's a 2-year. That is a callback. That is. It took me a second too. I was like, wait a minute. What? Oh God, the fish sticks. That's right. I stand by it. Fish sticks are gross. Anyway, let's get into some news because we're definitely going too long. Typically Ashton would do this, but you know what? I'm going to fumble my way through this. So let's do it.
I believe
Time
in
for
you.
some news.
News and thunder.
I love it. I love it. I
It's the
love
only
it.
reason I like to come back to the show is just for those segments.
Right, just to see what
We
Johnny
don't
does
know what
new.
Johnny. Yeah, what's Johnny gonna do this time?
All right, so first up, IDW, right? IDW, the home of TMNT and GI Joe and Transformers and My Little Pony. A lot of well-known IP, basically, right? They're getting into the creator-owned business, and I think this is actually pretty cool. So this is actually from Deadline, who originally announced this. Publisher IDW has unveiled 9 new original comic book projects set for release beginning in July as part of a new initiative. All creator-owned projects, which these are, by some well-known creators with serious fan followings, I should add. First up is Scott Snyder's Dark Spaces Wildfire, kicking things off in July. He'll be followed by projects from G. Willow Wilson, John Ridley, and more. While the focus is on creating new comic book IP, IDW is also angling to potentially develop the IP for film, television, and other entertainment mediums the way the company has done in the past with such titles as Winona Earp and Lock and Key, right? I always actually forget that is IDW, actually, so that's really cool. Some other projects that you keep an eye out for is Crashing by Matthew Klein and Morgan Beam, Earth Divers, by Stephen Graham Jones and art by David Gianfelice, Dead Seas by Kevin Scott and Nick Brokenshire, Golgotha Motor Mountain, which is actually a very interesting title, Matthew Ehrman and Lonnie Nadler, Arca, an original graphic novel by Van Jensen and Jesse Lonergan, Sinbin, which is also another interesting name, right? By Robbie Thompson, who I think worked on Spider-Gwen, if I remember correctly, with art by Molly Murakami, and The Hunger and the Dust by G. Willow Wilson, which you mentioned earlier, with art by Chris Wildgoose. You can get a look at Dark Spaces Wildfire, which is the Scott Snyder project, inside May's Previews, which goes live, as I mentioned earlier, this Friday. And of course, you can catch each of these titles inside future issues of Previews. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. And there's a little rundown of all the different titles of what we know about them so far. Now, I'm always happy to see creator-owned projects kind of get some more juice in the industry. I think that truthfully, they clearly are the future of the industry at this point. You know what I mean? Like the superhero stuff definitely plays well to a mainstream audience, but the creator-owned stuff seems to be ramping up the charts because people just want new stories, and I think that's really cool.
Exactly. They want new stories. They want new tells, new adventures, new insight for sure.
Absolutely, and I think that's always great. Like especially for somebody who, I don't know about you, but I miss the days of Vertigo. And I miss the days of just being like, man, what new Vertigo title is going to come out? And how is it going to be this crazy new thing? So I'm always like looking forward to some creator-owned stuff that I can sink my teeth into.
Yes.
But on the flip side, speaking of mainstream appeal, right? New details about the highly anticipated Marvel Fortnite mashup. So this is a limited series called Fortnite X Marvel Zero War, which is kicking off in June, right? Fans can get their first look at the covers to issue number 2, if Johnny will scroll down, and learn more about the exclusive access to an in-game content that will be available with each issue, which I know is the thing that people really want to know about. As previously announced, each first print issue of Fortnite X Marvel Zero War numbers 1 through 5 will contain a code redeemable for a Marvel-themed digital cosmetic in Fortnite, right? Readers of the series will be the first to access these digital cosmetics, which will be exclusive to comic fans for a limited time before they become available for purchase in Fortnite item shop. Not only that, select in-game items will also be available, will only be available with the redeemable codes from Fortnite X Marvel Zero War first print comics. And so what you can get for each issue, I'll give you a quick rundown, is you get in Zero War number 1, you get outfit. Zero War number 2, you get wrap. Zero War number 3, you get pickaxe. Zero War number 4, you get spray, and Zero War number 5, you get a new loading screen. Plus, any fan who redeems all 5 codes will receive a bonus outfit, which I also think is really cool. Arriving in July, Fortnite X Marvel Zero number 2 will continue the hunt for Zero Shard. Spider-Man and his allies are led to the outskirts of Wakanda, but no one said getting in would be easy. Meanwhile, Iron Man and the Foundation launch a daring mission into the unknown and stumble upon a game-changing revelation. And once again, you can use PREVIEWSworld pull box to reserve your copies and not miss out. I don't know anything about Fortnite. You have kids, right?
Do.
So
yes, that's why I know Fortnite.
Oh, okay. Do you play it?
I
Okay.
have kids.
Okay. I mean, hey, look, I'm not hating. I've been playing Watch Dogs 2.
To be fair, I play with my kids, so
okay, no, that's a good.
She's the main reason I got into Fortnite. I was a PUBG first-person shooter, kind of thing. So Fortnite, just recently took away the build option. So before, like, you build to kind of protect yourself and all that stuff, and that's like where I would get panicked on, because I was used to like regular first-person shooter, like Survivor. Like, I've got to, I've got to find the guy, I got to shoot the guy, not suddenly I've got to build and do all this other stuff to, chaos. So they took that away, and now my daughter's trying to get me to come back and play. She's like, "Mom, they took away the build. Like, you'll be okay now."
Okay.
It was okay before. But like all this build stuff is like craziness. But I will say Fortnite has a really good, how do I say it? Their characters are super fun in that they have all of these Marvel characters in there. Their Storm looks really cool. They had Deadpool. They have all these things. My daughter will get them and show them to me, and like new movies will come out and they get these new character skins, and they're super fun and cool. And they have they even have Thor in there, but they have like traditional comic Thor, and then they have other movie Thor. They have like all the kind of variations,
skins,
variants. And so it makes it really fun. Like they have like I want to say they have like 6 versions of Storm.
Oh wow.
And like from like real classic to like punk rock looking to like it's awesome. So it's cool. But for the kids, that's what
I mean, look, I
know these things because I watch my kid. That's why.
That's what it is, right? Of course. No, look, I'm
a gamer.
I'm bouncing between Watch Dogs 2 and Halo currently. Halo right now, so I'm right there with you. I totally understand.
I haven't played Halo since it originally came out.
Oh, really? Wow. See, that's the only thing is like Halo is my comfort zone, right? Like I feel like Halo, there are a lot more adults playing Halo than I feel like if I went to go do Fortnite, and like I can't deal with
that's 100% correct.
Yeah, so I feel like I don't feel obligated to talk to people. I can just jump in, jump out. Like there's no people are just there to decompress and then move on. But you get a Fortnite. Same thing with Call of Duty. You get a Fortnite or Call of Duty, and oh my God, like these kids are like it's life or death, and they also spank you really hard. Like they just destroy. Like you have no chance against a 13-year-old who has nothing but time on his hands to play a first-person shooter. So.
Absolutely.
Jeremy Boss say, I love Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's cool. I'm more of a Street Fighter person, but I love Mortal Kombat. Absolutely.
I'm a Mortal Kombat person too.
All right.
Awesome.
Let's
Scorpion.
actually speak. Actually, speaking of video games, actually, there's this new book called Ninja Kaiden, which of course sounds like Ninja Gaiden. But I thought it was really interesting. It's a new series that's coming out from Black Box Comics. Here's a trailer for it, and then when we come back, I'll tell you a little bit more about it.
Cool. I love Black Box.
sorry, I dropped my phone.
Where'd you go? You're like, I gotta go get that right now.
That is Ninja
That looks
Kaiden. That's from
cool.
Black Box Comics. It does look cool,
It
actually.
looks like towards the end it had like collector's cards. That's what that looked like.
Yeah, it did look
the
like
boxes,
that. Yeah. Actually, no, that's a good idea. I miss the days of comic books that had collector's cards. I think they should bring that back. I think that's
We
really cool.
have a whole stack of X-Men collector cards.
Oh yeah, no, actually, I definitely have them somewhere. I think they're in storage right
They're
now.
my
But yeah, I have
husband's. Give credit.
I have a whole
They're my
binder. Yeah, that's right. Don't take credit for
Yeah.
that.
To be fair, the giant box of X-Men comics under the bed, though, those are mine.
More hardcore. I see you. I see you. I see you.
I'm all.
Right.
I
Thug
like
life.
show
Thug
my
life.
shoulder. Yeah, I'm all.
There you go.
Rogue.
I mean, no one will accuse
Yeah.
you, Natasha, of
No.
being like a fake nerd. Like, I don't think
Oh,
anybody can actually
it's
do that.
happened though. It is.
Oh,
happened.
well, yeah, I'm
It
sure.
is
I'm sure it has
happened.
actually.
And I
yeah.
was like, yeah, I'm making this up. I don't
Right.
like Star Wars at all.
Right.
Like,
I think it was an episode we
I
did
do this
like
to
not
be
too
cool with the guys.
Right. I think
Yeah.
it was an episode we did not too long ago where we were talking about Batman, and I just kind of asked you, I was like, Natasha, are you into Batman? You were like,
Yeah. Let me think about it.
let me think
Yeah.
about that. All right, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
I know it was a rhetorical question, but I just
Yeah.
figured, and it didn't occur to me that, like, of course she has a Batman tattoo.
Yeah.
Of course she does.
Yeah.
Actually, so back to Ninja Kaiden real quick.
Yeah.
This is a new series from Black Box Comics. It's in the May preview. So again, on the website this Friday, new catalog hits next Wednesday, and the first issue arrives in stores this what did I just say? July, with 3 covers, including a variant drawn by industry legend Ron Frenz, who, like, I don't know about you, but like definitely grew up on some of Ron Frenz's Spider-Man work. Retailers, well, that's not really important, but yeah, the book comes out in July. I was like, I don't have to appeal to retailers on this show, so it's okay. This is for the consumers.
Yes.
But yeah, this is available in the Previews catalog, so definitely look for it when it drops. When the catalog drops on Friday. And you know what's interesting about this? Actually, the writer is Eric Palicki, who is actually the brother of Adrian Palicki from Agents of Shield. And also, I think she played Scarlet in GI Joe. I think she played Scarlet, or maybe she played Lady J. I can't remember.
Huh.
But yeah. So just a little side note right there.
And you should check out other stuff from Black Box also.
Yes.
They're a great indie publishing company, and they make some really awesome stuff. I really love a lot of their books.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no,
just
absolutely.
throwing that out there.
Yeah, as you should. And like, I mean, hey, go to PREVIEWSworld.com/search, type in Black Box Comics on the publisher, and you can see everything that's currently available from us, which means it's also available to your local comic shop as well.
Yes.
All right, let's switch it over to. All right, it says we got issues, but I think this is a social swamp, Johnny. Am I right?
It's a social swamp.
Okay.
I wasn't going to send like a 5th version of the outline over today.
There was some outline drama this week, but that's okay. All right, so I think this is going to be interesting, and I think we'll have a lot to say here. So, how about social swamp time? Let's talk
Let's
about
do it. He's holding the phone.
So again, typically Ashton would do this portion, but I will save you the trouble, I'm sorry, Natasha. I will definitely go ahead and read this week's social
great.
swamp. I'm
You're
doing
great, Troy.
Bang up job, and I swear I haven't even celebrated 420. This is just my normal nonsense. All right, so Johnny, what is this week's social swamp? So we asked you guys. We wanted to know about the retcons you love to hate, and we asked people on our Free Comic Book Day Facebook to comment and tell us about that retcon that just seemed unnecessary and downright weird, right? Those character moments or arcs that undid something that nobody asked for, at least according to you, right? So let's check it out. What did you guys have to say? I still hate that Egon went crazy and none of the other Ghostbusters believed him. You know what? Actually, I'm kind of with that a little bit. I do like that. I think that I think he's got a valid. This is from the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought that was an interesting thread.
Spoilers.
Not a yeah. No, well, you know what, Natasha? At this point, it's your fault.
All right, that's fair.
But yeah, I can kind of feel that, Desmond. I feel you on that. What else we got here? Brian says making the Joker into multiple people for 3 Jokers. I mean, I don't think that's continuity though. That's kind of
What?
Yeah, there's a comic book called 3 Jokers. I actually thought it was good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a comic book called 3 Jokers, and yes, it's like there's the Alan Moore Joker, and then the super psychotic 80s, 90s Joker, and like they kind of like play off this idea that it's like multiple personalities, and they all have like
Oh, I
different roles that
see.
they play in Batman's
Okay.
life. So I thought it was an interesting character study, if nothing else. But anyway, what else we got here? One of the retcons I dislike would be changing the colors of the Infinity Gems and renaming them stones. Okay, he's talking about the movie specifically. What else we got? Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver being Magneto's kids, and then not, then were, then not, then maybe are. Got 10 likes for that one. I have to.
Gonna go with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna co-sign
Yep.
that one.
I
agree
do
with
like
you.
that they play around. Well, I guess that goes back to the then they are thing. Like in the X-Men movies, when Quicksilver plays around and he's in the elevator with Magneto, and he's like, "My mom knew a guy who could move metal once."
Right? Yeah.
You know, like
that was a nice nod.
and then
I
looked
like
at
that.
it, yeah. And then kind of looked at him like, "Huh?" You know, like that
Right,
was kind of
exactly.
funny.
No, that was a nice
Yeah.
nod. I like that. I'll start with the obvious one, the entire Spider-Clone saga. This is a huge point of contention for Spider-Man fans, which is still getting retcon tweaks to this day. And he's absolutely right. They just did another one. See the current Amazing Spider-Man run. Yep, sure did. You're absolutely right, Percival. Pretty much how they handled the history revisions after the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Both the way they clumsily handled the loss of the Earth to Superman, Batman, etc., as well as the decisions around the new origins starting times of Superman, Wonder Woman, and Hawkman. Yeah, the DC should not be that complicated. I agree with you on that one. The whole Spider-Man makes a deal with Mephisto to save Aunt May. That's another one that just rubs people the wrong way. What else? I stopped reading comics around the time where the Marvel comics were massively starting to retcon and changing things to have more overlapping things with the MCU. I mean, that's fair. All right, that's the bulk of them. Yeah, I mean, it's I joked. I think I mentioned this to Ashton before on our show. Like, I've seen so much ebb and flow when it comes to these adaptations and how they influence the comics that I'm kind of numb to them now. So I just kind of like, they'll change it in a couple of
Stories
years.
evolve anyway. The world evolves, like history, all that stuff. Like things progress and move, and things are gonna change. Like if they stay the same, then it's stagnant, and you don't want to read it anyway.
No,
so,
I mean I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you up till a point, Natasha.
To a point. To a point.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I was like, Natasha, I know you and I are the same type of nerds.
Yes.
Let's be very clear. We agree up until a point. When you start
ebb and flow,
right.
But don't go over. Don't go over.
Right. Like when you get on our doorstep, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Then I might ask you to get off my lawn.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. You're right. It's funny how that works out.
Yeah.
Annie Fox saying, I'd like a retcon on rat bastard Kylo Ren stabbing. Oh my God. Yes, please. Kylo Ren stabbing Han Solo. Do over, please. You know what? And yes, you are 100% right, ma'am. Like I am not a fan of that. If Ashton was here, she would probably go on a tirade. I will not get into the weeds about this, but I am not a fan. Not a fan at all. Natasha, I'm going to ask you. For me. That was a rough one.
That was hard for me.
I mean, like, oh God.
Well, it's hard for me
because
he actually looks like my dad.
Oh, really? Your dad looks like Han Solo?
Yes.
Oh, geez.
So like when I saw that, I was, I had already gone through like a bunch of stuff, trauma in my life, and then that happened, and I saw it in the theater, and I was like,
right.
He killed my dad. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that. Like, it's funny. Like, I know as a kid, I never really liked the kid sidekick characters. I always liked the adult characters because I think I just wanted to be the adult character, which I know goes against conventional marketing wisdom or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, you want to be a grown up when you're a kid. Right. You want to be a grown up.
Right?
Yeah.
And so Han Solo and Indiana Jones were like it for me. Like they were the ultimate. They were the ultimate adult, particularly Indiana Jones. And so you can only imagine between Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Force Awakens, I'm just like, come on, guys, you're killing me here.
Crushed.
Like crushed, absolutely crushed. But anyway, I was going to ask you, Natasha, is there a particular retcon that sticks out to you that like you're just like, no, guys, too far.
I could think of a few.
Right. Maybe all under the same franchise.
Down. Maybe X-Men. Yeah. To nail down one particular one, that's kind of tricky. I definitely don't like how they treated Rogue. I mean,
Particularly
given,
what? Like, what did they do?
just, I mean, she was such a pivotal character in the X-Men world.
Yeah.
And she went from being kind of I mean, how they played her anyway was kind of messy, but like she was such a pivotal character in like the first movie or so, and then by like the fourth movie she was like
Right.
hi.
You're right.
You know,
Yeah.
like
She's just always passing by.
Yeah. And I hate my life. You know, like
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
and
The third movie was really like kind of like
it
weird
was
with
like,
that.
you know,
Yeah.
it's she wants the cure, she wants this, like, and then she was just like a blip. She was just nothing.
Yeah.
And like as a crazy rogue person, that sucked. That really sucked.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you know, you wanted more of it, and you know, yeah, we could see her be a young girl or whatever, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The X-Men,
Yeah.
the X-Men are kind of exhausting in that way. Like
it is, and it's
like,
and it's
the
so
comics
and
and the
there is
movies.
no other than like Professor X. There is no constant, like as
Wow,
far as
yeah.
characters go. Like, I mean, you could. I'm just gonna keep saying like and vague answers, but like.
Mhm.
The characters, like 1 second, you know, Mystique is this way, and then she's this way, and then this way, and then you know, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. The Days of Future Past. I mean, if we're talking about the movie specifically, like, yeah,
Yes.
I actually am not a fan of Days of Future Past. Like,
I don't watch that one at all. Like, I watched it like a couple of times, and like
Yeah.
that was good for me, and you know,
Mhm.
that
That was
it.
about
That's
it.
good for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some of the other ones, like I'll rewatch some of the other ones or
Mhm.
Dark Phoenix and things like that. But I don't watch it for the content. I watch it just for it's an X-Men movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I didn't even make it all the way through Dark Phoenix. I still think X2 is like the best one because I feel like those characters are the most like
Opening scene of
themselves.
X2 is
Oh
awesome.
yeah. Oh yeah. It totally
With
is.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Like, that's that whole thing is so cool, and you
Yeah.
know,
But I
and
also
you
think
get to
those.
see a little more sinister side of Stryker, and you know,
Yes. Yeah.
like I
No,
like that too. And
it's also just I feel like the characters are most in line with their comic book counterparts
yeah, it's
in
definitely
that movie.
closer.
It's
Yeah,
closer, not
yeah,
perfect, but it's
yeah.
closer, you know.
Mhm,
But yeah, yeah, just the X-Men in general. I think
mhm,
I like I think that like I've been reading I finally finished actually X-Men Grand Design, which is like this
mhm.
Ed Piskor series of books, the Marvel release, where he basically kind of retells the story of the X-Men, but he's attempting to try to make it make sense. Like that's the best way I could put it. And in the process, he does something really interesting at the end where he utilizes the story of Days of Future Past and all the other subsequent
Mhm,
time travel stories to almost unexplain the non-linear stuff that happens post 90s.
mhm.
You know, like well, no, I'm sorry, post 80s actually. Like basically he gets up until I think Extinction Agenda, and then he's sort of like, but then Days of Future Past happens. I mean, even though it happened before Extinction Agenda, but he kind of explains it in a way that, but the events of Days of Future Past completely messed that all up. And so he's just sort of like, and that's why the timeline is totally screwy.
Yeah.
And I kind of appreciated that. It also made me go back and actually read the some of the old Chris Claremont stuff. And I
Mhm,
rereading that stuff, I was like, man, there's a stretch here where it's like, man, this is really good, just comic
mhm.
book stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And then somewhere around, and you can disagree with me on this, but somewhere after Mutant Massacre, it gets really messy. And they just kind of keep introducing more and more time travel stuff. And, you know, I like Cable, but then Cable gets involved and he's a time traveler. And Rachel gets involved. And there's this whole thing with Franklin Richards and Rachel. And then there's stuff with Bishop. It just gets
It's
so
messy.
it gets really messy. You know,
It's messy.
the Siege Perilous, that becomes a whole thing. So it's just like really strange. And yeah, it makes I feel like a fairly accessible concept
Mhm.
not very accessible anymore. You know? And I mean I've read other X-Men stuff after that I really enjoyed,
Yeah.
but usually they just kind of tell their own story
Yeah,
and
that's true.
just you know,
That's
like I
true.
think about the Astonishing X-Men or New X-Men or any of that stuff, and they
Mhm.
just kind of are like, yeah, we're just going to focus on this one plot point that we want
Yeah.
to tell and not get into the minutia, all this Chris Claremont stuff. So,
Mhm.
and I mean, Claremont's great. Like, I mean, he gave us the X-Men as we know and love them, really.
Mhm.
But
I know once he
yeah,
left, like Rogue kind of went downhill in the comics too.
yeah, that's fair.
Mhm.
That's fair. Although I will say the
Yeah.
one thing, if
Not
you haven't,
downhill. Not downhill.
right,
But like
yeah,
certainly back here more.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like
Yeah.
I will say, I would suggest if you haven't had a chance, you should read Rick Remender's Uncanny Avengers run. If
Mm.
you haven't read that, because Rogue becomes the leader of the X-Men Avengers hybrid team.
I don't know that I've read that.
Yeah, and he does some really good stuff with that. And you also can tell that he's a fan of 80s X-Men.
Oh, then
Like
I'm
very
definitely gonna
particular.
read
Like
that.
yeah, you can tell that he's very, very specifically a fan of 80s X-Men and he likes that
Mhm.
version of Rogue.
Mhm.
And there's some stuff in there with Wanda and Rogue specifically. To your point about Rogue being like, oh, I don't want my powers anymore next week.
Mhm.
He actually does the inverse of that, where he's like, where basically Rogue is like, hey mother, like you basically like zapped everyone's mutant abilities and left us down to like, what is it, 98 people, 198
Uh-huh.
people or something like that. And she's like, I don't mess with you anymore. Like,
Uh-huh.
and if you get in my face, there's going to be a problem. And keep in
Nice.
mind that Wanda is an Avenger and now Rogue is the leader of the team. And she's like, you're a straight up traitor. I don't like you at all.
Yeah.
Like, and I thought that was actually pretty interesting too. But
That
anyway,
sounds interesting.
yeah, definitely check out if you get a chance. Uncanny Avengers, specifically Rick Remender's run. John Cassidy is actually the artist too,
Writing
which is
it
actually pretty
down.
cool. My dad looks like Luke Skywalker. Interesting.
Which
interesting.
version?
Right, yeah, which version?
Version.
The most recent, the older Luke
Yeah.
or younger Luke?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Thanks, guys, for giving us some social swamp answers. We definitely got into the weeds a little bit, but we
Yeah.
kind of figured that was going to happen anyway. So
Like
whatever.
we do.
Like we do. Let's get into this week's poll. Johnny, drum roll, please.
This week's poll is: what did you think about the Thor Love and Thunder trailer? It was godly. Meh. And just me personally, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle because this is, after all, nothing more than like a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
But it does two things really well. Well, one thing it does is it establishes the tone of what the movie's going to be. So it accomplishes that, and it gives a big reveal, which is something you're always looking forward in one of these trailers. You want something that's going to lure you in and keep you waiting and thirsting until like the next trailer comes out, and that's the reveal of Jane Foster as Mighty Thor. So that alone, I think, makes me think I'm leaning towards the godly one. I mean, I would like to have seen more, but we'll have to wait until a little bit later before something like that comes out, probably after Multiverse of Madness is out.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll wait for the buzz of that to die down, and then like they'll
wait for the after credits.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Which, by the way, speaking of which, I really like what Spider-Man No Way Home did, and that was by releasing a Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness full trailer. It wasn't just like a little scene like they've done in the past. So I'm hoping that's something that continues. I'm hoping that at the end of Multiverse of Madness that there is maybe a little bit of a sneak peek, maybe a bit of a fuller look at Love and Thunder. So we shall see. But I'm voting it was godly.
Yeah, I think we all are in agreement. Like,
yay!
we were definitely fans.
Agree.
Yeah. And also, I've been seeing some haters online, man, and that's that 23.7% that are like, nah. And I'm like, okay, guys, I guess. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but it's just like, come on, let's just have some fun. Yeah, let's just have some fun.
Here's a question though: do you think some people who aren't familiar with the comics, when they're saying, "Oh, it's a female version of Thor," or "No, they're just pandering," blah 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 blah, the people who don't understand the history of these characters?
You're right.
I've seen the comments in various things all over the place, and I'm gonna go with yes.
Can I just real quick say?
Jeremy Voss, bye guys, awesome show. Thanks for watching.
See you, man.
Andy Fox says older version of Luke Skywalker.
Oh,
from the side.
From the side.
From the side. Okay.
He looks like Luke Skywalker, but from only a certain angle. He has to turn 37.5 degrees this way. Like, there he is.
I see it.
I was just gonna say with the Jane Foster thing, I always appreciate it when they don't invent a character to replace an existing character, but they find a character that is tied, emotionally and like just historically to that character. So I've never had a problem with Jane Foster. And some of the other ones I have a problem with. But Jane Foster, I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, that's cool. She has a relationship with Thor. That's an interesting dynamic. And she has his hammer, which is also an interesting dynamic.
And I'm really curious, like, how much of that run they're going to bring into this. Like, Spoiler alert, if you haven't read the comics, but it's been out for a while. And I believe, Troy, this was the Jason Aaron run, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
When Jane Foster gets cancer.
Yes, it is.
So I'm kind of hoping that like that's kind of because Natalie Portman's been out of the films for a while, so I'm hoping that they kind of tie into that storyline to be the impetus for why she's coming back into Thor's life. So I think that'd be a good way to kick off that story arc. But we shall see.
Or it could be more multiverse shenanigans. I don't know. Like, it could be any number of things. Like, I'm very curious about how they're gonna. That's a big thing I'm curious about. Is like, how are they going to make this work, and how are they going to move through this? So, yeah, it could be fun. Real quick, guys. Comic shop shout out, right? Do we have a comic shop shout out this week, Johnny? I don't know if we even talked about.
Yes,
that.
we did. So this week's comic shop shout out is Up and Away in Ohio, submitted by our friend Miranda, and they have 2 locations. One's in Cincinnati and one's in Blue Ash, Ohio. For the end credits, we're going to be showing pictures of the Blue Ash location. But if you would like to have your local comic shop shouted out on the show, just reach out to us on social media. Free Comic Book Day at PREVIEWSworld. Tag your shop, or if you don't have a shop presence on Facebook, just tag their name and then also use the hashtag support your LCS. We will give them a shout out and show them some love here on the show.
Absolutely. And this is your reminder to like, follow, and subscribe to Previews World Weekly, to Previews World in general. Representing for Ashton, real quick, I would say you can also follow Free Comic Book Day at Free Comic Book Day. It's pretty much everywhere online. It's at Free Comic Book Day. That's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, right? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. And the same goes for at Previews World. We don't have a TikTok, but we do have pretty much everything else. And also, I was going to say, where can people find you, Natasha?
Keep it really simple. Just go to canondollx.com because it links you to all of the socials at canondollx, this, that, or the other. But that's where you can find me. That's you can find updates. You can find appearances. You can find my social media. All of the things. It also links. I have it set up to every week when that new video goes live for DST Unboxed. It's right there on the website.
Yes.
And Natasha, real quick, we have to give you a little special shout out because you're going to be like showing up. You're going to be making public appearances pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yes,
I am in August. I will be in Paragould, Arkansas. I can't believe I could say it correctly. I'm making an appearance at the Paragould. See, now I'm saying it wrong. Expo. It's August 5th through the 7th, and I'm going to be a guest there, but also the MC for the event. So you'll get to hear me announcing people, announcing shows, all that kind of fun stuff. So
okay, cool, nice, awesome.
My first time to Arkansas, too.
Okay, Arkansas. Yeah. All right, shout out to Arkansas.
Yeah.
All right. Very quickly, there is of course, I mentioned Diamond's 40th anniversary. We've been doing these big previews exclusive reveals. These are basically items, and it can be anything from toys to collectibles, action figures, etc., and lunchboxes that are exclusive to previews, which means they're exclusive to comic book which means they're coming to comic book stores. And it just so happens the most recent one was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated sewer layer lunchbox with thermos, and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade previous exclusive lunchbox.
That's a tin one too.
Yeah, I love the arcade one. Like that takes me back.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I used to play Raphael all the
Mhm.
time. That was my favorite.
That takes me way back for sure. So,
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
let your local comic shop know if you're interested in this. Let them know that it's a previous exclusive, just so you say our name to them, so they know that it's a previous exclusive, and that it's special just for them. And that's celebrating Diamond's 40th anniversary. And Diamond, of course, is Papa Bear. Diamond is the umbrella.
It's the mothership.
Previews and DST and Free Comic Book Day are all part of. So yes, happy 40th to Diamond. All right, that's it for Previews World Weekly, guys.
Yep.
I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen, and joining me this week is
Canondollx. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, always a pleasure. And hey, guys, we'll catch you next week, next Wednesday. But more importantly, we'll see you at the spinner rack. Catch you later.
Don't forget that you can catch Previews World Weekly streaming live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at Previews World on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.